EGM Network.
Welcome to the Lori Davis Show, where it's all about the amazing lifestyle on our Treasure Coast. And here's your host and realtor for life, Lori Davis.
Hello, buongiorno. We're so glad to have you here today. We have such a great, fun show today. I always talk about Vero Beach and lifestyle. And why do people pick Vero Beach as the place that they're going to live? Well, we have someone here today, a very special woman who has this beautiful place that she lives in Europe, and yet then she selects Vero Beach. And so that was what I thought was the unique connection between why Vero and then this beautiful, beautiful place that she has over, I'm going to give you, it's in Tuscany. Okay, so this is just amazing. It's so great. I'm Lori Davis. I'm your realtor for life. Our show is sponsored by Dale Sorensen Real Estate. This is about lifestyle, and I think that what is very interesting, and I always talk about this, I frequently do, is that if you live in Vero Beach, you can travel anywhere in the world, and then when you come home, you're coming home to Vero Beach. I remember living in Atlanta, I remember living in New York or Tampa, and I would go on these trips, and especially, after I'd been in New York for a while, you're going back home to New York, and you're like, oh, it's just hard. It kind of takes the glow off of what, the beautiful experience that you had. But here today, we're going to talk about something that you can go there and experience it, and I think you're still going to feel pretty good when you get home to Vero Beach. Today's conversation is a special one. We're joined by Leigh Venturini Del Greco, the proprietor of Castelnuovo Tancredi, a remarkable historic estate in the Tuscan countryside. What drew me to Leigh's story, again, it's about stewardship, it's about lifestyle, it's about what does it mean to own something with history and soul, right? Because even the little homes, or big homes, whatever, what you buy in Vero Beach and what I sell is that feeling when you're in that property that this is my home. And it doesn't have to be a villa in Tuscany. It can be a Central Beach renovation. It could be a beautiful Johns Island home. It could be an oceanfront condo. It doesn't matter. It's the soul of it, and it's the feeling of that. And when I met Leigh, I was so inspired by her story of how this all came about for her. So listen, let's just go on. We want to talk about your journey, what it took to restore and live in the property like this. Leigh, let's welcome you to the show. Welcome.
Thank you,
Leigh Venturini Del Greco. Venturini Del Greco. Everything's long. All the Italian stuff is really long, and I'm going to mess it up a bunch. I have been practicing for days, and I keep tripping over my words, but we're going to be fine. So your website,
yes.
Talking about what is the shortened version that you call it?
Castelnuovo Tancredi, which means the new castle of Tancredi.
Okay.
But we now call it Tenuta Castelnuovo Tancredi because it's a wine.
See, you
it's a
think
wine
I'm getting
farm.
that one out?
It does just sound shorter to me.
I can sound shorter. There's nothing shorter about that.
No, exactly.
No.
Things get longer in Italy. Actually. Lunches, dinners, everything gets longer.
And I love that about it. That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
I know. Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here and talk a little bit about the connection, as you said, with Vero Beach and my lifestyle in Italy and how I divide my time. And
yeah. So let's start real quickly, do the connection to Vero Beach, and then we'll get on to Tuscany.
Okay.
How did you find Vero Beach?
I came to Vero Beach in 2002. I was in Orlando with my children at the time. They were 12 and 8. We came from Rome. My kids were born in Italy, and so basically raised in Italy. And I decided, I think it would be a good idea to take them to Disney. Well, I booked a 10-day stay, and after 4 days, I was literally pulling my hair out.
I'm out of here.
Get me out of here. Where do I go? Where do I go? And a very good girlfriend of mine at the time, who I've lost contact with, unfortunately, over the years, whose son was the best friend of my son, happened to be in Vero Beach. Her grandmommy had a place in Johns Island, so she knew the area. I did not know Florida at all. Growing up in New Jersey, I went to the Jersey Shore.
Right.
So I didn't know Florida at all. Plus, I come from an Irish and Scottish family, so
the sun was not your friend.
Lovers. Exactly. It was not my friend.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And I remember I said, okay, out of desperation, I rented a car. I said, look, I was raised in New Jersey. You can't get lost I'll never get lost. If I can never get lost in New Jersey, I won't get lost in the rest of the world. So I got in this car, drove down to Vero Beach, was coming over the bridge, which is our famous 17th Street Bridge.
Yes.
And I stopped. And, I was so in awe of what I was seeing. I was coming over the bridge. It was sunset time. The palm trees were blowing in the breeze and the little boats were going under the bridge. And I was with my son. I stopped the car. We took a picture and I said, this place is paradise. Where am I? Where am I?
Right.
And, I stayed only 3 days, but those 3 days were enough for me to seep into my bones and to walk over to the realty office at the moorings where I ended up buying and asking if any of those houses on that particular street came available, please contact me. And then the rest is just history.
I love that. I love that. One of those houses did come available and she got it.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. That's always a good thing. Now, so tell us what first drew you to the Castelnuovo Tancredi.
Well, was married before to another Italian who's the father of my 2 children, and we separated in 2000. And I met this amazing man who is my husband now, who is also the owner of the castle. He brought me there for the first time, and I was like, where am I? Where am I? His mother was living there.
Okay.
She passed away at 103, but she was the typical Italian matriarch that ran the show. And she was wonderful. She loved me because I was so different. But I had to be very careful how I tread in the beginning because I didn't want to upset her in any way or another. But when I went there for the first time, I was pretty much in awe. And I thought to myself, how am I going to fit in here?
Yes.
And then, things just happened. She made me feel at home. We went there every weekend from Rome, which is about 2.5 hours outside of the city. Right. And I got to grow in love with Tuscany, which I didn't know at all either.
Right.
Yeah.
And now, was it a private home at that time?
Yes, it's always been a private home.
Okay.
It was bought by my husband's great-grandfather in 1897.
1897. I saw that. I read that. It's
always been in the family since then. And it's always been handed down through female channels.
I like that.
Right?
The matriarchy. Yes.
Yeah. And so my husband's 2 daughters are the next in line, and the oldest one is working quite a bit with us now with our hospitality, let's say, aspect of the property.
Right.
And she's getting her hands wet, feet wet, everything wet. Ready
You're
for the
in.
future.
You're diving in. It's all in for sure. Sure. So how do you then, when did it move from being a personal home into something that was more hospitality driven?
Well, that definitely, I waited tactically until my mother-in-law passed away.
Of course.
She passed away at 103.
She was hanging. But there's longevity.
She always had 2 glasses of wine with every meal. She smoked 1 Virginia Slim. Remember the Slims?
I do.
Slims?
Yeah.
She would puff away on that. She was like the perfect.
I told people I could smoke and still live.
Yeah. But everything, you have to do everything in moderation.
You
right?
do.
From drinking 100%. To eating to smoking.
Yes.
Just as long as you have fun. I think you have to live your life the way you want to.
Right.
And anyway, so she passed away in 2014, and that's when my husband and I looked at each other straight in the eye and we said, this place would be great if we just fixed it up and redid the bathrooms and made it more comfortable and start renting it out.
Right.
We had already done the project when she was around. We have another 2 farmhauses that we rent out. Mm-hmm. And the bigger one, which is called Castelrotto, we had already done some of the major renovation on that. But, again, 5 years pass and you want to redo the sofas, you want to redo the mattresses. Yeah. Being an American, I always said to my husband, bathrooms and beds.
Yes, right.
The 2 Bs, and you just have to make people comfortable. They want to come, there used to be this idea in Italy back in the 90s that you could rent a house and sit on a chair, and even if it broke because it was all eaten up by the bugs, or whatever, and fell on the floor. But it was something that everybody wanted that experience. But back in the 2000s, people said, if I want to travel, I want to be comfortable wherever I am, as if I were at my own home. So that was the real challenge for me.
Right. Now, we have some pictures of one of, you call them the farmhouses. Yeah. These are not farmhouses like we know in the United States. Yeah. So you have some pictures. Right. Okay.
Oh, that is our latest accomplishment.
So beautiful.
I love Aiale. It's called Aiale.
Aiale.
It's almost in pan. That's Castelrotto. Now, that's a funny story. You see, those were the building on the right is the older part of the original structure, and it was where the farmers lived. All the farmhouses where the various farmers lived, who cured the land, who did the wine, who did the olives, who did, took care of the property. And as they grew, the family grew, they added on another piece of house. And then they put that sort of corridor in the middle.
Yes.
And one of the signs of a prosperous home is where you see a well. So every one of our houses has a well because they all had water. But this house was funny because it had that, you see that passageway in the middle between the two houses? That was always like this big steel door just there. And I said to my husband one day, I said, why is there that big steel door there? I said, can we just get rid of it? Well, we took it down. And it went and took down the one on the other side. And there was this beautiful passageway. And I said, this has to be the entrance to the house.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And that leads to the pool on that pool side of the house.
Yes, exactly.
So, when people are going to Tuscany, and this would be one of the things.
That's another view of the same property from the pool.
Exactly. You bring, now how many bedrooms are in this? People rent this they rent the whole.
That's a big family reunion hotspot.
Okay.
Friends and families, actually.
Right.
We have both. We have so many Americans coming, which is great. And I just love it when the Americans come because I pop in after, say hi, let's have a glass of wine together and tell each other our stories. And the one that we were looking at before has up to 18 people, so 9 bedrooms. And the first one, which is our last project, has 7 bedrooms.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
That one there has 7 bedrooms.
I love that. No, and for those people that can't see it, you're going to have to watch the show.
Yeah.
You have to go to YouTube and look at the Laurie Davis show because it's all going to be there. So how does life feel there? Let's take ourselves to Tuscany.
Mm-hmm.
The difference. I mean, Vero Beach is pretty low key, kind of whatever, but it's certainly nothing like Tuscany. What is your average day at the Castelnuovo?
My average day, well, now I'm in Vero, so I'm on holiday. Which
now, when you get over there.
And I'm charging up my batteries, so when I get back there, I go full strong. And our season, let's say, our rental season, the most popular, when we have people coming, guests, whatnot, and even we do events, starts in May, end of May, and it goes through to the end of September, believe it or not. September is the new August.
It is.
Nobody wants to come in August because, it gets so hot there and you really don't want to, you don't enjoy your time walking around Florence or Rome when the asphalt is burning through the soles of your feet and you can't, walking in the shade because you can't walk in the sun. I mean, so I always tell everyone to come in June or September. But a typical day of ours is going around making sure everything's working.
Right, of course.
Before the clients come in.
Right.
And it's maintenance. It's a lot of maintenance. So we close down in November because they're old houses.
Right, of course.
So when we close down in November, December, January, February, March are 5 months of just maintaining
work on the
houses. Yeah.
So when a guest comes and we've got a family reunion, one of these beautiful farmhouses, now what are their days like? What are they doing in their time there?
Well, many of them come to us after a 3-day, they'll fly into Rome, say, and they'll stay 3 or 4 days in Rome, and then they'll drive up. Who has the courage to drive up? But I tell you, if you've driven in Miami, you can drive anywhere. So
I like that.
Italy is easy compared to driving in Miami. And so their typical day, they have a lovely long breakfast. Mm-hmm. They all have cars that they've rented, or they can even have drivers, but even that's become incredibly expensive. But I always encourage everyone to drive because you're in Tuscany and everything is so easy to get to. It's 20 minutes away. You can go to all the medieval towns in the area, have a lovely lunch outside, do a little bit of touristing, and then come back in the evening, have a swim in the pool, go to the spa or the gym that we have at the main villa. And just have a lovely dinner, and relax.
Right.
I try to get them all to just relax. Pull
Slow
the
it
plug
down.
on Rome or heck.
You don't have to be in every city every day.
No, absolutely.
I mean, and driving there you're saying it's simple. It's not. There's no traffic. I mean, there's
driving
2-lane
around
roads.
There. Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
and there's a major highway that takes you up from Rome up into Florence. You get off beforehand and you do the back roads through Siena, which if you're like me, you stop every 20 minutes and take a photograph because the first time I came to Tuscany, I was in awe. I said, where am I? I'm in a whole other, on another planet.
It's another
just
world.
So beautiful.
It's definitely another world.
And every season has its colors and everything is,
Yeah.
Depending upon the time of the year, you just, you stop and you say, I want a picture of that. I want a picture of that. It's a postcard.
Right.
It really is.
Well, listen, we always, and I know if you live in Vero Beach, you've been to Citrus Grill House.
Yes.
Chef Scott Verricchio is our sponsor for our beverage, but unfortunately, she's brought wine from Italy, Scott. So we kind of are going to bump you from this one, but we're still going to give Chef Scott a little prop there. Citrus Grill House. We love our Citrus Grill House right there on the ocean. And you can go over there and drink great wine too. I'm not sure about their Italian selection.
Unfortunately, no.
No.
I don't know their Italian selection. I love their place, though. I think the Citrus Grill House is one of the best spots in the area.
I agree.
You eat so well, and he's such
agree.
a talented chef.
Isn't he? He's amazing.
He really is.
There you go, chef.
Yeah.
Right, all the way from Tuscany. You're getting props, baby. So anyway, don't forget them at 1050 Easter Lily Lane, right there on the ocean. If they're not serving it, it's not fresh. They're not serving it. So go over and see Chef Scott over at Citrus Grill House. But I have to say that Leigh brought us a bottle of wine today that we are tasting. Leigh, why don't you tell us a little bit about what we've got here today?
Okay, so you and I have decided to open up this bottle here, and it's called Assedio. Assedio means siege in English. And the reason we called it this is because the tower, which if you can somehow pull up the original photo of the villa, you'll see that it was composed of a tower, which was a grain tower, and also a lookout tower.
Mm-hmm.
And there we go. You see the one on the right, the high structure. There are windows all the way around the top of that, and it was used as a lookout point because in the 1200s there were the Republic of Siena was fighting against the Florentines. Not much has changed over the centuries. They still don't love each other.
Like each other. I love
but
that.
they use that as grain storage because the area that we are is really called the agricultural heart of Italy.
Okay.
And it's the grain fields, the olive oils, the fava bean fields. Wasn't really known for its wine production until Brunello put that area on the map.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always been, and grain was power back in the 1200s. It was food for the soldiers and for everyone. So that was a very, dotted around the whole Tuscan countryside. You'll see various towers like that were for that usage only, for protection, lookout, and for invaders or whatnot, and for storing grain.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so most of the wine, though, that you have, though you have some here today, is there at the villa, correct?
Yes,
it's at the castle.
we have a very small production. I mean, and we don't do wine every year. We do it only because we don't rely on the wine production to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
We do it only in a year that we know that the quality is going to be exceptional. And when it's mediocre quality, being that it's an organic vineyard, we sell our grapes to other producers. Yeah,
That's
so we
nice.
have Sangiovese, we have Merlot, but not enough Merlot to do a single wine, but we do Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Syrah.
Yeah.
We use those as blending grapes. And then this one that you and I opened today is a Sangiovese at 80%, which is the king of the grapes in Tuscany.
It's beautiful.
It's what they do Brunello di Montalcino from. They do Rosso di Montalcino. But we blend it with 20% of Merlot. Because I want it, and I don't put this in wood. We put it in steel tanks.
Okay.
So it doesn't do a second malolactic fermentation. It doesn't become super structured. If you see, there's almost like the nail of it is transparent.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So I wanted an easy drinking wine, and so we decided this was our easy drinking wine.
This is what we decided for the show.
Yeah, and
But
this is the one.
There's a banger over there.
There's a banger over here, which I call the caterpillar.
The caterpillar. What do you call it, a caterpillar?
Because when I do wine tastings at the property, when we have a lot of people come also on their own, but mostly for the clients that are staying in the farmhouses, I save this for last because it'll blow them off their socks off, literally.
I love that.
It's Cab, Shiraz, and there's no Sangiovese in this.
Right.
And it's our 3 mixing grapes that we do this product, and it's called the Ambasciatore because the ambassador was my father-in-law, who I never actually had the opportunity to meet.
Oh, I love it.
But everything is named and has a name in honor of the property. Like Fiamma was my mother-in-law who died at 103 years old, and we did this rosé for her.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, listen, we have to take a break because we pay for this with commercials. We will be back with Leigh to talk a little bit more about the Castle Buono. I can't say that. Nuovo. Castelnuovo. I want to say it as 2 words, and it's 1 word.
Was 1 word, and Tancredi is another word.
There you go.
Yeah.
We'll be right back to talk about the villas and everything here in Tuscany. Thanks. We'll see you right back.
Don't let a dirty pool ruin your fun. Deja Blue Pool Service specializes in green to clean transformations in Vero Beach. We handle chemical balancing and deep cleaning so you can stop scrubbing. Google Deja Blue Pool Service. Keep it clean, keep it blue.
The Blue Angels are back at the Vero Beach Air Show, presented by Piper Aircraft, Inc. Feel the power of the Blue Angels Saturday and Sunday. The Vero Beach Air Show, May 15th, 16th, and 17th. Tickets at VeroAirShow.com.
Welcome to Riverside Theater's Comedy Zone, where the comedy is wild, untamed, and downright hilarious. Hit the zone this Friday and Saturday night at 6:30 and 8:30 for the Treasure Coast Best Live Stand-Up Comedy Show, featuring nationally recognized comedians with cabaret-style seating and food and drink table service. Buy tickets at riversidetheater.com and get ready for a night of non-stop laughs.
Hi, I'm Ryan, owner of Treasure Coast Tree and Land Services. When it comes to your property, there's a difference between some guy with a chainsaw and a certified arborist. Don't take chances with your property. Make sure your tree company is certified, licensed, and insured. Call the professionals, Treasure Coast Tree and Land Services. If you're in the IRC, call Treasure Coast Trees.
Vero Beach is out and alive. Music's playing, people are dancing, the dance floor's packed. It's the Sunset Saturday Concert. Fun and free for all on Ocean Drive. With live music by Johnny and the Blaze. Food, wine, and beer. Presented by GHO Homes, Vero Beach Chamber of Commerce, Orlando Health, Sandpiper Pest Control, and Treasure Coast Golf Cart. The Sunset Saturday Concert. Saturday, May 9th at 5 p.m. at Hummerston Park on Ocean Drive, Vero Beach. Now that's the life.
We are here with Leigh Venturini Del Greco. We are thinking about Tuscany and the beautiful villas that she's got over there. We have one big villa. We've got 2 farmhouses. Let's talk about getting there from the United States. Where can you go? And then once they get to Tuscany, what do you have available for them?
Sure. Well, I always advise people to come either into Rome or to Florence. But I don't know how easy it is to get a direct flight from the States to Florence. Mm-hmm. But Florence is a little closer. It's an hour and a half away. Rome is 2.5 hours away, depending upon your drive. If you're driving, if it's my husband, you can take a half hour off each section. But but I like to stay a little bit, comfortable. Right. We have the castle, which has 8 bedrooms, so I can put 16 people in that very comfortably. And then we also have a side house, which is called the Dependance, which is called the Canonica, which was the vicar's house. And that has another 2 or 3 bedrooms. Mm-hmm. And then we have the 2 farmhouses. That farmhouse there is called Caserotto, and that has 9 double rooms. Everything is air conditioned, and that is Ayale, and that has 7 double rooms and is air conditioned. That's my favorite. That's my baby, Ayale. So,
Ayale.
Oh my God, it's so fantastic. People can see the insides. When they go on the website, we didn't pull up any photos of the interiors, but on the website you can see.
If you go to and watch the show on Facebook, we have, whether you look on Facebook or whatever, YouTube, the outdoor areas where people are dining and some of the interior rooms are there. Yeah, exactly. And it's, if you want to see the photos, then it's www. I'm going to spell it CASTELNUOVOTANCREDI.IT. Okay, or LoriDavis.com, and call me, text me, whatever. That'll be great. And then, so basically, are you booked up already for the summer?
Yes.
I know you are.
And I don't know what happened. What's in the stars was in the stars last night, but we got 33 requests for more for the rest of the summer. So maybe people were a little afraid to book their holidays ahead of time. But we're pretty booked.
That's great. Well, listen, maybe next year.
Leigh,
thank you so much. That's right. Leigh Venturini Del Greco. I love you. Thank you. I do. I know. The Castelnuovo Tancredi. I've got it. You guys, thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank
Leigh,
you, Lori.
Thank you so much for being my guest. Everybody, be safe out there. If you have any interest or you want it, you can find me, Lori Davis. You can Google me and find my phone number, my email, whatever you like. Text me. Guys, be safe out there. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.